Hello, Michelle. How's it going today?
Good, Lindsay. How are you?
Good. Today is a Saturday. This episode is one of our Sassy Saturday episodes.
Yes.
So fun. We love them.
Yes, yeah. So I'm curious. Maybe your listeners are going to a yoga class, or maybe someone's going
Sure.
to meet a friend. Whatever you're
Sure.
doing, I hope it is a nice and relaxing weekend. Lindsay,
Yes. Yes.
do you know
Mhm.
anyone who's recently had a baby?
Yeah, I have a few friends who
Yeah.
recently had a baby in the last year or so, for sure.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. Yeah. Oh, that's exciting. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, we have a listener who recently had a baby, and
Yeah.
so we're gonna answer a listener's question in an episode relating to babies. So we're talking about babies today. But again, I don't want somebody to hear babies and then think, "Oh, that's not for me." Right, Lindsay? This is going to help you connect with many different people. This always comes up, right?
Exactly, and this is not necessarily for the people having a baby, right?
Right.
This is not what that's
Exactly.
about. This is actually for
People
the
who
friends of the people having a baby,
exactly, you
which
wanna
is
talk to your friend who had a baby.
yeah, so don't shut this off if babies are not in your future. It is for everyone today. I love it. And the question comes from Keisuke, who I believe I've met Keisuke on a call once a while ago, and he's been a long-time listener of All Ears English, which we
Nice.
love that. Keisuke says, "This is Keisuke. I've been listening to All Ears English for 5 years. Even after I came back to Japan, because I think he used to live in the US. I
Mhm.
still keep listening to your podcast all the time."
Mm.
And then he says, "I had a baby in May. It would be great if you could provide an episode focusing on baby or kids English.
Aw.
But today we're actually flipping it around and we're showing what can we say to the person who just had a baby, right?"
Mhm. Right, or
Yes.
I mean, it's really both. It can be used
Yeah.
in a lot of different ways, but we're basically just teaching expressions, dealing with babies that are definitely good for talking to people or expressing your own situation. But
Yeah.
this is a great question, and also congrats on the baby. That's so exciting. Maybe you're listening to us while you're rocking your baby to sleep.
Oh, our youngest All Ears English listener.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, thank you so much for listening. Guys, before we get into this, we want to remind you we had a good episode. Episode 22, 25 was Are You Saying And Then Too Much? So I think that
Ooh.
was an episode with Aubrey, probably.
Yeah, listen to find out if you're saying it too much and what to
Oh,
say instead. Yes.
yep.
Okay. All
Okay,
right.
so we're going into babies. So these are specifically words and expressions dealing with pretty young babies. So you're going to hear these words very often in English. Again,
Yeah.
if you don't have a baby, these are still for you because you should be connecting with everyone, including new parents.
And, as you get to a certain age, it's going to, even if you don't have kids, pretty much a lot of your friends are going to have kids, right? They're going to start to build their family. So you're really going to want to have these phrases to communicate with native speakers for sure.
Mhm, mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Good stuff. So, all right, should we get into it? Lindsay, what's
Yeah.
the first one?
This is such a classic phrase,
Yeah.
probably an old term, right? I think
Yep.
it's been around
Mhm.
forever.
It
So,
has.
bundle of joy. When is your bundle of joy coming, right? So that means the baby, obviously.
Yeah, yep.
Uh,
Yep, somebody always will just use, "Oh, bundle of joy about baby."
yeah, yeah. If it feels right, this is a little bit animated. It's if this
Mm.
feels
Yeah,
like it
bundle
reflects
of
your
joy.
personality to
Yeah,
use this term, use it. If not, we have other options for you. Okay.
right. You don't just say it in a way that doesn't,
Right.
acknowledge that it's a little bit unique, right? You don't just say, "Oh, how's the bundle of joy?" Right?
Correct. Right.
You gotta put something into it. You're using
Put
it for a
something into
reason.
it.
You're being cute, you know?
Soften your voice a little bit, right?
Mhm.
Maybe kind of like gestures, that sort of thing. Yes,
Mhm,
agreed.
mhm. What's the next one?
Newest edition or new edition. I guess newest edition feels right. How's the newest addition to your family?
Mhm. Yeah, so the person that was born.
And I guess if it's a first child, it would be new edition, but new edition makes me feel like it's a magazine edition of a
Right,
magazine or something. I don't know why it feels wrong, but it's a wrong word. Edition with E,
right,
addition with A. So I'm getting it confused.
right, right. Well, uh, that's a good point. So, but here we're thinking about, y the person that you're adding to your family, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
but that yeah, could be
Love it.
like that as well. The next one is well, we have 2 really, and actually these are not the same. So, newborn and infant. So, a newborn I'm just looking it up now because I guess I should know this,
Yeah.
but I can't remember. So, a
Yeah.
newborn is younger than a newborn, just in my Google search, is a baby from birth to about 2 months of age, I quote.
Oh,
Okay?
I see. Okay.
Whereas an infant is from the time they're born until they reach 1 year old.
I see. Okay. I was wondering what the cutoff was.
Yeah.
So those are two different stages of life, right? So just get to know that vocabulary, guys. So she has a newborn, so she's not getting any sleep.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Well,
Okay.
it looks like infant, I guess, also refers to newborn because 'cause they're both from birth, but you don't say newborn after 2 months, you would then say
Okay. So it's
infant, right?
like infant is the umbrella term, right?
Yeah, for the really little one, I guess.
Yeah. Interesting.
But I think
Okay.
people
Good
honestly
to know.
use them interchangeably.
Kind
I
of.
wouldn't worry.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone would say, "Wait a second, she's 2 months and 2 weeks."
You're
No, I don't
wrong.
yeah. No, it's not like that. The next expression that we're gonna teach, this is a big one, is sleeping through the night.
hmm
So, that's what, you I in my, understanding, a lot of people, when they have a new baby, somebody will ask them about, "Oh, are you getting any sleep? Are you sleeping at all?" Right? Do you ask people
Wow.
that?
Yeah, sometimes I do. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's a common symptom of being a new parent,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
So, typically, when we say sleeping through the night, we're talking about it might not be sleeping through the whole night, but
Mhm.
just for a nice long stretch of time, like, maybe 6 hours, is sleeping through the night. I don't know technically the cutoff for sleeping through the night, but just not 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
So you could say, "Oh, my baby started sleeping through the night at about 6 months old."
Yeah. And the reason this is just a phrase you hear more often around new parents and newborns, right? This is the phrase
Mhm.
that's used. Sure, you could use it talking about at any age your sleep, how well you sleep, but it's often used in this world.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And the witching
Exactly.
hour. I like this witching
Ah.
hour. Oh no, it's the witching hour. He's so fussy. What is witching hour,
Oh,
Michelle?
okay. So witching hour, I think most babies have this. It's just that this time of day, usually right before dinner, I believe that the baby is just inconsolable and you don't know why they're crying and you don't know what to do and it's just
Yeah.
witching hour and I think
Yeah.
it even happens a little bit with older kids. It's just that you're just trying to make it through the rest of the day and go a little bit,
Sure.
"Ah," right?
I feel that sometimes.
Yeah, exactly,
We all have
exactly.
our
We all
witching hour, don't we? I mean, can't we have a witching hour too?
I want a witching hour, yes, exactly, that's so funny.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that's
witching
good.
hour, that's a real thing for sure.
And then I think fussy is also a common term
Fussy,
for referring to a child, maybe a kid, but really babies, right? Crying all the
right,
time, that sort
right,
of thing.
yeah.
Also a good
Oh,
term.
they're fussy, yeah. I mean, there's so many words, so we wanted to give you a few of them today, but so yeah, those are some of the words for today.
Nice. Okay, Michelle. So, which of these do you like?
Yeah.
Which of these phrases, is it the
Well,
witching hour?
the
Which,
concept of sleeping through the night is my favorite,
of
because
course.
I enjoy that, but, yeah, I guess, the witching hour is always fun to relate to people with. Oh god,
Yes.
I remember when my son was born, and I remember Dan coming home, and I would just hold him up and just say, "Here," and I would go take a
Oh,
shower because it
wow. I
was just
can
the hardest time
imagine.
of the day. Yep.
Yeah, I bet. I bet 100% witching
Yeah.
hour. Yeah, I like that one too. It's kind of fun to relate to the fact that anyone could have a witching hour at any
Yeah.
at any age, and you can start a connection in English over this
Yeah.
topic,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Oh, yeah,
Everyone
for
feels a little
sure.
fussy at 5 p.m., 6 p.m. Come
Yeah, we're,
on.
like, ready to go, ready to eat, ready to just relax already.
Yeah.
It's, I've had enough. Yeah, I
Exactly. You've had
get
enough
it.
of whatever you've been doing all day, right? And
Yep,
you just wanna change your environment, go do something different.
I get it. I get it. Yep. So,
Good.
should we do a role play, Lindsay, to show how these could all
Yes.
fit together? Yeah.
Yeah, so here we're talking about our friend who just had a baby. So that's another way you would find a
Yeah.
connection. So it's friend A had a baby, but then friend B and C talk to each other
Yeah.
about the new right? So a lot of dimensions of connection here.
Right.
So, yes. Good. Here we go. So, have you met Piper's newest addition?
Ooh, no, not yet. I haven't spoken to Piper for more than 2 minutes. I'm sure she's exhausted with a newborn at home.
More than 2 minutes. Okay, so yeah, she will probably be exhausted at least until the baby's sleeping through the night.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's also tough because of the witching hour.
Yes. But I have seen pictures. What a bundle of joy.
Oh, I know, completely adorable.
Yeah, that phrase bundle of joy, it just doesn't resonate for me, for my personality. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's okay if it just doesn't feel right. It just feels a little too, I don't know. I'm not
Cheesy?
sure. Yeah, cheesy, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I do think that, maybe bundle of joy could also be something you see on a card, um,
Yeah, too
or
hallmarky.
or
Yeah.
the grandparents might be using that more. Right.
Totally. When
Yeah.
you're in it, I would imagine, I don't know, you have the experience, but when you're in the thick of it, bundle of joy is maybe not the first word that comes to mind
Ah,
when you're just dealing with everything. You've got, like, vomit on your shoulder and
yeah,
all these
yeah,
things. Maybe our
yeah.
listeners can relate, right?
Yeah, yep, yep, yep. That's good times. But yeah. So, consider if you want to use that one or not. Just know it's a little bit cheesy, but everybody will know what it is. So,
Nice. I love it. Okay, so I said, "So, have you met Piper's newest addition?" Right?
mhm.
And then you said, "I haven't spoken to Piper for more than" did you mean more than 2 months or more than 2
No, no,
oh,
no. I
more than
actually
2
meant
minutes?
yeah,
I see.
right, yeah, like I'm
Okay.
trying to get her on
Yeah.
the phone, but a
Okay.
new mom can't talk very much.
At any given moment, you can't be on the phone longer than 2 minutes. I see. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
And then I said, I'm sure she's exhausted with a newborn at home. So I used newborn, not infant. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yes. And then she'll probably be exhausted at least until the baby is sleeping through the night. Right.
Mhm. And I said,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it's also tough because of the witching hour.
Mm-hmm. And I also think that's powerful because if we're just talking about babies, any event that everyone goes through is kind of a scientific thing, can be a moment of connection and
Yeah,
conversation.
yeah,
Any life stage or any kind of thing that people, it just happens to everyone, that can be a source of connection.
yeah,
So
definitely. Yeah,
that's why I like that one.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. This really brings me back to having little babies. But I'm so excited for our listener, Kiske, and just
Oh,
very, enjoy the adventure. And I hope you're sleeping through the night. And I mean, while your baby is sleeping through the night. And if not, then I hope that we can maybe accompany you. Maybe we should be singing a lullaby to the baby. Go to sleep, baby. Go to sleep.
yeah, and I think this is exciting, this episode, because I think that maybe it's never happened to me, but it could be isolating. It could feel isolating having a newborn at home at times, but this is giving you the language, the words that you could connect with a neighbor, right? You
Mhm, mhm.
could
Yeah.
invite a neighbor over for a few minutes,
Yeah.
and these might be the words that a native speaker might use to ask you about your experience.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
can get out of that isolation maybe. I don't know. What do you think
Oh,
about that? Yeah?
I totally agree. It can be very, very isolating. I mean, there's so many things we can do to follow up on this topic. But
Yes.
yeah, in the beginning, it's very isolating. It's really then you got to get your mom crew. You got to make your friends, and
Right.
that's when you got to go to groups, and there's all
Yeah.
sorts of things you can do so that you can feel like you're not alone because you're not.
Interesting. I love that. I love that. All right, good stuff. Very interesting, Michelle. And we will see you on another episode. All right.
Okay. All right. Bye, guys.
All right. Bye.